We're at St. Luke's Lutheran Church here in Bellevue for the grand opening of the 30 Bellevue project. We'll walk over here. This is a brand new 63-unit apartment building for people who make less than 60% of the area's median income. And in this case, since it's in King County, we're talking about $60,000 roughly. So folks who can't afford to live in the community where they work now have an opportunity to call home a little bit closer to where they have to go to their job.
Three, two, one, cut. All right.
Aubrey here, she's taking us on the tour here at 30 Bellevue, and Aubrey, we're heading toward a resident lounge, you said?
That is correct. We call it the resident lounge. I don't know if we have the sign up yet, but there will be a plaque on the wall, and there it is. It says lounge right there. So this is a place where students can come to do homework in a calm and relaxing environment. We have some comfortable chairs here. And right outside the window is a natural growth protection area. So this will be around for all time. It's not going anywhere.
And everybody needs to look at some green. It's good for the mind.
It's good for the mind. So part of our tour script for this area is an opportunity to talk about affordable housing lingo. So when we talk about affordable housing, it's all based on area median income. So when you hear the phrase AMI 30%, AMI 80%, it's all based on the area median income for King County, which right now is $108,600. So if someone is making 30% of area median income, they're really hard up. It's really difficult to make rent every month, especially when you need to be working, $36 an hour to afford a 2-bedroom apartment in Bellevue. So part of what we're doing here is making affordable housing available in high opportunity areas. And across our entire portfolio, our average rent is $585 a month.
Wow.
Yes.
God, I wish I could do that.
Yeah. So 30 Bellevue itself has studio, 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units, and all of them are permanent affordable homes. Let's see. Over 290,000 households are cost burdened in the county, which is roughly 1 in 3 households. And on the east side, 34% of people were cost burdened in 2017.
Wow. That's a staggering number.
And when you're one car breakdown, one medical bill, one catastrophe away from not being able to make rent in an area that has such a heavy cost burden, I mean, that causes stress, and children who live in stress-laden households are less likely to perform well in school. So all of these things work together, even when it comes to our commute times. I don't live in Bellevue. I can't afford to live in Bellevue. And I commute a long ways, and I am in that traffic same as everyone else.
Yep, me too.
So our next tour stop is going to be Unit 318, which is open for touring today.
Wonderful. Can't wait to see inside. It looks nice from the outside. And this is the unit to tour.
We do. So we have a tour open here right now.
All right, Aubrey, what do we got?
Typical 1 bedroom. 1 bedroom, 1 bath.
Very nice. These folks are getting a nice look. What'd you think?
Wonderful.
Nice. Nice bathroom. Big tub and shower.
Yep. Oh,
Coming behind you there. Taking video, which is not the answer we're supposed to have. Oh, nice closet space.
A P-TAC unit which sticks out of the wall, Yes. I've actually done apartments where we actually put a court in the wall.
Got a decent little view outside, more closet space in here, plenty of room for a double bed.
Then when you're ready, you just unplug it. It's at the low end of the wall, near a window. And you
so in total at 30 Bellevue, there are 19 studio, 19 1-bedroom, 15 2-bedroom, and 10 3-bedroom
Okay.
units.
And this one I mean, they're relatively basic and pretty nice. I'm a fan of this. It's easier to keep clean than
Yep, it's
carpeting.
good quality material.
Well,
Yeah, the flooring's so much easier to keep clean than if you have a carpet. Oh, the most important part, it's got a dishwasher.
Got a dishwasher, got a good sized fridge. I remember my first apartment, it was about this tall.
And I've lived in a couple of places with no dishwasher, and will never do it again as long as I live. Because I'm
So
too
good,
old.
good storage space.
Lots of cabinet space.
I mean, this is someone's home.
And I could see them easily making it that. Thanks, Aubrey.
Absolutely.
All right, Aubrey, what do we have in here?
This is the laundry room and the laundry room lounge. So in the laundry room,
Nice, brand new units.
and our resident support services offer payment assistance with the laundry room in the event that a resident needs it. We don't want lack of money to prevent anyone from having clean clothing. That's an essential human right.
Agreed.
And then over here, just for this event, we have a series of signs that emphasize just how important affordable housing is. On one of the signs, we talk about our community events. In 2018, we provided 549 community events, including dinners, breakfasts, movie, music nights. Our senior residents at Ellsworth House, I believe, don't quote me on that, have a yoga program because it's so important for seniors to have regular physical activity. And it's $36.12 for a King County resident to afford a 2-bedroom apartment.
Yeah, that's a telling statistic. As is this one here.
And 2 above it are, these 4 are the ones that just emphasize it so much.
Makes it hard to live here. Well, in fact, they were telling stories like the fellow who drives the shuttle vans at Microsoft and had to drive all the way from Olympia to go to his job. Mm-hmm. So basically he spends about 18 hours a day behind the wheel of some vehicle. Unreal.
Okay, can you start off with your name and spell it in your title?
My name is Villette Nolan, CEO and President of Imagine Housing, VILLETTENOLON.
Okay. Start off talking about essentially what's going on today. What's going on with affordable housing?
We're really excited to welcome everybody here to the grand opening of 30 Bellevue. This project's been in the works for about 7 years, under construction for the last 18 months. We opened the building up 2 weeks ago. It's been fully leased up, and today was our celebration with our public and private partners.
Now, Villette, you mentioned quite a few hurdles getting here. Talk about some of those.
We had about a 2-year process working with the city to actually do a revised comprehensive plan amendment. After that, then we had to go into the feasibility studies and all of the other things that go into building a building of this scope. Then we have to actually apply for the funding because we're not always guaranteed of that. Pulling together our financing, which was $24 million, comes from about 17 different parties. So once all of that was done, we started construction, and of course there's always the risks involved with a major construction site. But it was all done on time and really beautifully.
Oh, yep, sorry. I'm getting in everybody's shot here. So would you say that you're finding that government bodies like City of Bellevue are starting to try to remove some of those hurdles to make it easier for affordable housing to get built?
They are. The cities on the east side have really started to step up to the need. And of course, we have Microsoft, who has announced $500 million for affordable housing. As the need in the region has continued to increase, the need on the east side is increasing as well. Many people don't know there's a tent city on I-90 right outside of Issaquah. So, we see the need daily. We had over 700 applications for 63 household units here. And so those people are still waiting to find homes.
So who's living here? What did it take for them to qualify?
They do have, the people who qualify to live here at 30 Bellevue must be earning less than $60,000 a year for a single household. There's some policy numbers around that, but it's less than 60% of area median income is the fundamental qualifier. This particular building also has families who have an adult living in the home that is disabled, and so those are another qualifier for people to get in.
Now, you had mentioned that, that some of these families have some unbelievable stories. Tell us about what they've said it's meant to them to have this place here.
It's amazing to hear the stories of the people who've actually moved in. Their lives are transformed forever. We know of many families that were living in their car or couch surfing. We just heard earlier today of a family that had been separated until they were able to get reunited back here at 30 Bellevue. We know that there are some adults who are living here that were having to depend on their relatives. And because they were disabled, they had no other place to go. But this building offers them a place to be and to get care. So unfortunately, we don't know all 63 stories, but we do know that there's 25 children here that are under age 17, and for the first time, they're able to go to a school in a very high opportunity neighborhood with beautiful surroundings, close to transit. When those kids become teenagers, they'll be able to have good jobs and continue their lives.
Now, in terms of the folks who have come here, it's not just that they have a place to live. Are there services available too?
Yeah, Imagine Housing is unique because we provide supportive services to the people who live in our communities. This particular building will have 2 people dedicated to ensuring that the people who live here have adequate access to rental assistance when they need it, legal assistance if they need it, food bank. We do community meals here once a week. There's a real surrounding of love. And because this project is behind the St. Luke's Lutheran Church, we know that the members of the congregation want to also welcome their new neighbors into this community.
Is it meant to be long-term, or is this sort of a stepping stone to get people to the next step of their housing?
We provide permanent affordable housing to people, and what that means is that if they've qualified to move in, they're never asked to move out as long as they're meeting the terms of their lease. Many people do move on, especially if they're younger. We have buildings where we do have youth that are between 18 and 25 that have aged out of foster care, and this is their first home. So those people do tend to get better jobs and move on. We also serve seniors, and the people who are seniors tend to not leave. So our turnover rate is quite low, and this is meant to be a permanent home for people so that they know they never have to leave.
What does this mean for you and I guess Imagine Housing to see the kids and the families moving into their first units?
Every day we have 25 staff at Imagine Housing, and we remind ourselves that the work we do is for the residents that live in our communities, because we shop with them, we go to school with them, we work with them. They're part of the East Side, and they're part of everything that we do. We're a mission-based organization, and we believe that we are strengthening our community by helping those who need it the most. And our staff is motivated every day. They come in and they do really, really hard work, and I can't thank them enough.
All right. Thanks for that.
Are we missing anything?
And this is Pastor Mark Griffith here at St. Luke's Church. So, Pastor, the first thing I wanted to ask you is, why did you want to build this community here, right here on the property? I mean, doesn't it take up some of your valuable Sunday parking?
It does take up some of our valuable Sunday parking, but we're thrilled to give it up because of the mission of Imagine Housing and the mission of building a healthy community. This congregation years ago started this conversation around how can we address this issue of affordable housing, and it's so exciting today to see this come to fruition, to see 63 apartments opened up for affordable housing. It was, the construction project, the building, all of that stuff. I've been joking it's been wholly inconvenient, but it's wholly inconvenience in that we see the mission behind this, and we're willing to deal with a little bit of the inconvenience of it, because 63 families have a new opportunity at new life, and that's really what we're all about here.
Well, and you've just touched on it. We talked about it before, too. The congregation, and I know you've only been here for a few years, but it sounds like they have a history of holy inconvenience when it comes to helping people who need to find a place to live.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. We've got a long-standing partnership with Congregations for the Homeless. We're one of the founding congregations for that organization. Every month, every year, we use our fellowship hall to house their winter shelter. We have Sophia Way has been a long-standing partner here. We've got Sophia on our campus with a day center and an overnight women's shelter. So for most of the history of this congregation, they've been engaged in this conversation in some way. And this is just the next expression of it, and it's really exciting. I've been a part of this for 3 years, and it's just been an honor to nurture this process and to continue to walk with them through this journey of building a healthy community.
Well, and as the journey came closer to its end, how excited were you and your flock?
Oh, we've been waiting anxiously to welcome our new neighbors for the last month. We've been planning a big party in July. We put together welcome baskets with big laundry baskets filled with cleaning supplies and household goods that people moving into new apartment would typically need. And then one of the most beautiful things was our quilters. We've got a group of quilters, as most Lutheran churches do, that send quilts all over the world through Lutheran World Relief. Well, our quilters decided that if we're willing to send quilts to the continent of Africa and South America, we should at least be willing to walk them across the parking lot. So we donated 63 quilts, one for every one of the new apartments here. So they got a quilt and a basket, and the congregation has just been really looking forward to meeting these new neighbors who are now in our midst.
Well, now that they're here, and it's been a couple of weeks, have you been surprised by anything?
I think we've been surprised by how smoothly this is all going. I think we anticipated a little bit more holy inconvenience with move-in and with new people just on our campus and milling around, and just it's been quiet, it's been smooth. Imagine Housing has done a great job of moving folks in, helping us establish boundaries and rules and expectations, and I really do think this is the beginning of a really lovely partnership with St. Luke's Lutheran Church and the 30 Bellevue community.
Well, then the big question is, what's next for St. Luke's? Must have another project in the pipeline.
Yeah, we are always thinking missionally and trying to find new ways to connect to our neighborhood and our community, and really to work for healthy community and to be a faithful witness here on the north end of the community of Bellevue, to share God's love and to continue to build relationships with our neighbors.
Very good. Pastor Mark, thanks for that. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.